Good morning students, I am Saubin, Fidget English. Today we are going to start our second poem, an elementary school classroom in Asylum. This poem has been composed by Stephen Spander. Actually, before starting the poem, before telling the summary of this very lesson, you have to know about the poet. This was an English poet. He was not only poet, but he was the best essayist in his life. Actually, in this very poem, before start that he is going to tell about the inequalities and social injustice in the society. In our society, there are the two types of the people. First type of the people have got the full facilities, and the second type of the people have not got the facilities. Before starting this very poem, we have to know some points, and that in our society, that title is given there. The title elementary school classroom in Asylum. It means before starting the chapter, we must know what is the meaning of the elementary school. A primary school. The primary school which is situated in that very in the dirty area, that is not having the facilities. That school is going, that classes are going in that very dirty areas, and the students are not having the good facilities. Before that, I am just going to summarize this very chapter. The poem is far from dusty babes, these children faces like woodless beat. The hair torn round their pallor, the tall girl with her weight on head, the paper seeming boy with the rat's eyes, the stunned unlucky hair of twisted bone reciting father's silent disease. His lesson from his desk at the back of the dim class, one unnoticed, sweet and young. His eyes live in a dream of squirrels game in tree room rather than this. You know that in this very poem, the poet is telling the pathetic picture of those very children who are studying in the primary school, and that very primary school is not having the good facilities. You know, the condition of the children is very miserable. You know that these children faces are just like the babes, the strong babes. The strong babes which are away from the society. So, you know, in this very poem, the poet is telling about the children faces are just like the rootless beet. You know, what is the meaning of the rootless beet? Before that, explaining this very term, rootless beets. Rootless beets means unwanted plants. It means the faces of the children are just like the unwanted plants, etc. You know, rootless beets is the term that is used that some plants are there in our garden, etc. The people don't want those very plants and they root them out. You know, their hair are not combed, their hair are uncombed, and they are scattered on their yellow faces. Do you know the condition of these very children who are studying in a slum classrooms? The condition of the children is not good. Their faces are just like a strong babes. You know, their hair are uncombed and they are scattered here and there on their yellow face. You know, in the first very, there is a one girl is there. There is a one tall girl is there. She is also depressed due to the burden of malnourished. Actually, she is studying in this very classroom. She is not taking interest in the classroom. The reason behind it, that why is she not taking the interest in the classroom? Because because of the malnutrition, and first of all, she wants eat the food. She wants to remove her hunger, and in this way, that we can say that the girl is suffering from the depression due to the malnutrition and due to the hunger and due to not getting the proper nourishment. After that, there is one boy is there. The boy is just like a paper seeming boy. What do you mean by the paper seeming boy? The paper seeming boy means the boy is as thin as the paper. It means the boy, one small boy is there. The boy is very thin. He is just like a paper, etc. And his eyes are looking just like the rats. Why the poet is using the rat size? The rat size means here that the eyes which are searching the food here. The child's eyes cannot be just like a rat size, but here is the that literally devices there. There is the poetic devices there that we can call that metaphor. The child's eyes has compared to the rat size. The boy's eyes searching from that food first. The stunned, unlucky hair of twisted bones. This is the boy, that this boy is undeveloped. There is not proper development in the body of the boy, and this is the boy is the unlucky. Why the boy is unlucky? Because whatever he got in the heritage, he has got only the twisted bones. His bones are twisted. What do you mean by the twisted? That his bones are just like a twisted, etc. They are bending bones are there, and that he has got the disease. He has got the inherited disease, that he has got that nodding disease. So it means the boy, why the poet is using for the boy just like unlucky. Unlucky means that the boy does not got any property from his forefathers. The boy does not got any good things from his father, but only he is used for unlucky by the poet because he has got the disease, and the disease is there, that we can say that his bones are twisted. Whose bones are twisted? Twisted means that we can say that this is the term that can be used for that his bones are just like a twisted. Bending bones are there, and bending bones are having for those very children that what we can say that who has got the disease of the rickets. So this boy is unlucky because he has got the disease of the rickets, and second thing he had got the disease of the knots. Knots means that that there may be the knots in our body. When there may be the knots in our body, then there will not be proper blood circulation in our body. And after that the poet says that the boy is not taking interest, the boy is not reciting his lesson on his desk, but the boy remembers the disease which he has got by his father. Second thing there, and the next at the back of the dim glass on unnoticed sweet ending boy. That the classroom is, everybody knows that the classroom is not lighted, the classrooms are very dirty, their atmosphere is not very good, and so there is a very sweet and young boy sitting at the back of the class, and that boy is not noticed, that boy is unnoticed by the poet. The boy is very sweet and the boy is very young. He has seen the dream. Yeah, he is busy in the dream, that he is only taking the interest. He is only taking the interest in seeing the dream, and he is watching the squirrels game. And in this very classroom, then other than this, it means that the young boy who is sitting at the back of the benches, at the back of the class, that was unnoticed because he is a very small, but the poet, whenever the poet sees him, he looks very sweet, he looks very young. That boy does not take interest in the class, but he is busy in seeing the dream, and the dream is that, what is the dream is that? That simply that he wanted to take interest on that very game, that game is played by the squirrel in a tree. Now, actually in a tree there is a house of the squirrels, so the squirrels are playing the game, so he is busy in watching that very game. So I think that the very first stanza you have got very properly, and again once I am going to repeat this very stanza, in our own words we can say that in the first very stanza the poet tells the pathetic picture, the miserable condition of the children who are studying in a slum. Their classrooms are in a slum, their faces are away from the babes, etc., from the strong babes, and their hair are uncombed, and hair are just like scattering over his face, just like a yellow face, etc. They are not combed. After that, there is one girl is there. The girl is suffering from the depression, and first of all, she has to remove her problem of the malnutrition. She has to remove the problem of hunger, and in this way, that next is there. There is a very lean and thin boy is there. The boy is just like a paper. He is also very upset because whatever he has got from his father, he has got only the disease of the dictators. His bones are bending, and he has the problem of the Nordic problem is there, so his body cannot work in the properly. And next we can say there is a very small boy is there. The small young boy is there that was unnoticed by the poet, but that he is sitting at the back of the class, and the classroom is already very dull, classroom is very dim because there is a not proper arrangement of the light. The boy is also not taking interest in study, but he is busy in watching the games, that is he is busy also watching the games. The game is known by the name of Squirrel's game. You know that in the first very stanza I have already explained that we have got in this very stanza that in the first very stanza we can say there is the pathetic condition of those very children who are studying in the slum, and whose classroom is in the dirty area. Their position is very critical, and they are away from the society. So we can say that let me know some terms are there that who has the problem of the depression. So that everybody knows the girl is having the problem of the depression. What type of the depression she is having? She has the depression of the malnutrition. She has the depression of hunger. She wants to first eat the food, and class is the second, because without food nobody can do the work properly. That the poet has used the one word for the boy, just like when boy is there, the boy is very thin, just like a paper. Why the poet has used this very word, the boy just like a thin as a paper? Because the boy is very thin, and who has got the disease which disease has got the boy from his father? The disease is that simply the disease which he has got, two diseases he has got. The problem of the dictators, and second problem is the Nordic problem. So first stanza, and at the last of the class there is a sitting one boy. Can you say that why the boy is not taking the interest in the class? The boy is not taking the class because the class is very dull, and that he wants the food first, he wants to remove his hunger first, and now he is busy in the games of the squirrels. The first stanza is clear, and now I am going to explain the second stanza. In the second stanza you see, all soul dreams, by donations, Shakespeare's head, class late and dawn, civilized, doming right in all cities, belt, florid, tallest valley, open-handed map, avoiding the world's bird, and yet for these children, these windows, not this map, this world, where all their futures painted with fog. The classroom in which the students are studying, the classroom in which the children are studying, those classrooms are having those sore green balls. What is the use, why the poet used the sore green balls? What is the meaning of the sore green walls? Sore green walls means that yellowish cream walls. You know that the classroom walls are yellowish. Why the classroom walls are yellowish? Because the walls has not been painted for a long time. It means that, and you know, there is also the picture of the Shakespeare's head is there, and you know, there are some donations. You know, what do you mean by the donations? Donation. The donation means the money which is given as a charity for the school, etc. You know, some rich people have given some charity for the school. So their pictures are also hanging on the wall. So you know, that is also, they are also looking very dirty. And you know that early in the morning we can say that the dawn is looking, actually you know, due to the actually early, and you know that the classroom is just like looking just like a cloudless at the dawn, because due to the pollution, due to the dirtiness. And second thing is there that these actually, you know, these people are different from the civilized dome riding all the cities. You know, domes. What is the meaning of the domes, etc.? You know that the dome is just like a used जो गुंबद वगैरह होते हैं जैसे, यानी actually you know the civilized people are having the representation in the cities, etc. These children are away from the representation of the cities, and you know these children are studying on the valley of the trolleys, which is the full of the, which is having the bells, which is having the flowers. A very good smell is coming, a very sweet smell is coming from that very valley. So still these children are away from the natural beauty. Why they are away from the natural beauty? Because that they are living in the polluted area, because they are studying in that very area, they are studying in that very school which is not having the good facilities. That is already situated in the dirty area. You know, open-handed map awarding the word its birth. You know that open-handed map. You know that open-handed map. Everybody knows that. What do you mean map? But you know about the map. But you know what is the meaning of the open-handed? Open-handed is that very map that is simply can be done with the hands. That can be short. That can be long. You know this very thing. The open-handed map has been used by that Hitler, he could use he used the map according to his own desire. You know that, so simply they did not have any importance of the open-handed map, etc. and avoiding the words, etc. You know the map is used for dividing the words, etc. With the help of the map we can see the things, but you know this map is also useless for them. These children, only the windows of the schools, only the windows of the school are the map for them. Not can and after that, with all their future painted with the fog. And you know, actually, you know very well that these children have just like these children's future have been painted by the fog. What it means? It means these children are not a lucky children. These children are not just like what we can say hopeful person, but these children's luck has been painted by the hopelessness, by the hunger, etc., by the malnutrition, etc. So we can say that simply their future is not bright, but their future is just like a foggy, and in the fog we cannot see the things very clearly. At the last of this very second standard, we can say they are living in that very state, they are living in the narrow states, and in the narrow states the sky looks just like a lead sky. You know the color of the sky, everybody knows that the color of the sky is blue, but why does the poet use the lead sky? Lead sky means that the sky that looks just like a very dull, because of the dirtiness, because of the polluted areas, because of the so many dirty areas there. So you know the sky cannot look clearly there, and you know that Their world is away from the rivers. Their world, they did not have. They are living in that very area. They are living away from the rivers. They are living from the caps. They are living from the star of the world. Star of the world, it means we can say they cannot take the enjoyment of the rivers. They cannot see the caps, etc. And they cannot touch the stars of the world. What is the meaning of the stars of the world? It means they are away from the proper education. When they will be away from the proper education, then everybody knows without education there will be no our future, there will be no our bright future, there will be only the hopelessness. You know, in this way, the first and foremost problem of these students are there. They are discarded by the society, they are left by the society, and you know that everything is looking dull in the life, and you know they are away totally from this very world. If they will not get the proper education, then their future cannot be good. Third very standard now I am going to explain to you. Surely Shakespeare is big. The map of the bad example with the shift the sun and up tempting to steal. You know, surely Shakespeare is big. Everybody knows, beta, you know that when we does not know anything about properly, that means we understand very well that the thing is useless for them. Actually, the teachers did not tell the importance of the Shakespeare. The teachers did not tell about who is the Shakespeare, you know, and the photo of the Shakespeare and the picture of the Shakespeare was hanging there. So it means that picture was the useless. Nobody tells who was the Shakespeare. Nobody told them about that Shakespeare was the greatest dramatist, Shakespeare was the greatest poet was there, and you know there is actually he has written so many dramas, he has written so many tragedies, he has written so many comedies are there. But you know that when they did not know about Shakespeare, so it means Shakespeare is big for them. That is the big for them. They did not like Shakespeare, and they only think that that is the very just like a bad character person. And you know, if we give the example of the map, you know, the example of the for giving the example of the map is also bad for them, and you know that because they are away from the ships, sun and the love tempting them to stool. Actually, you know that they wanted to see, they wanted to steal. What they wanted to steal? They wanted to go on that very places. They also wanted to go on the ships. They also wanted to take the sun, etc. In the ships, or we can say ships and sun, these are the things, natural things are there. They are attracting for these very children, so they wanted to steal them for their lives, slyly turn their comrades' soul. Actually, you know, they are living secretly. Slyly means they are living secretly in their cramped holes. Cramped holes, you know, what is the meaning of the cramped hole? They are living in their narrow holes. Narrow holes, you know, they are living in the narrow houses, etc. Their life is limited till that very places. And you know, from fog to the endless night. Fog to the endless night means that simply we can say it means their night will not be end. Why there is the fog is there? Because in that very area is very dirty, that very area is very polluted, so their life cannot be bright, their life cannot be good, they cannot see the future in their life, and we can say the night cannot be ended. You know, whenever fog is there, due to the fog they cannot see the things from this side to another side. So you know, the night is the fog, the night is just like a unended. Due to the fog, due to the polluted area, due to the dirtiness, they cannot see the night very clearly. And you know, these very children are living on the heaps of the mud, etc. And you know, they are you know, when they are they are very lean and thin. They are bearing the claws. The claws are torn, and you know, their bones are coming from that. Their bones are coming from the torn claws. Their bones are peeping out from their torn claws, etc. And you know, they are wearing the spectacles. The spectacles are mended by them. You know, they have found the spectacles, and you know, after that they have repaired the spectacles. After repairing the spectacles, they are wearing them, and you know that the lenses of the spectacles are just like the bottles which are broken on the stones. So you know, the condition of these very children is very critical, and all of their time and expense are for the Islam, so blot their maps with the Islam as they do. So at the last we can say, in the third very stanza we can say, whatever their time is there, whatever the things are there, in the slum area, in that very particular area, in the dirty area, their life is totally full of the fog. Fog means they cannot see the things, and you know that their life, what is their life cannot so blot their maps with the slums as the big as the dome. It means we can say at the last of the third stanza we can say that the maps are useless, only the slum has blocked their life on, and we can say as it just like a dome. It means these people, these children are the unlucky children, and there is no importance for these children for the maps etc. in their life. And the last stanza is very important. Why the last stanza is very important? Because the conclusion of this very whole of the poem is given there. What is that? Unless actually, you know, if we want to make them a good citizen, if we want to make them a good people in the life, then this is our first and foremost duty, that we should help them. Not only we should help them, but it is our moral duty that all the governors, all the inspectors, educationers, visitors, all the people should come forward, and they must help them for removing their hunger, for removing their malnutrition, from removing their hopelessness. You know, only the society can remove the problem of these very children. And you know, this map becomes a window, and these windows that shut their lives like a catacombs. You know, this there is no use of the map in their life. Only the window through which they can see the outside. That very window is just like a map for their life, and the windows that they shut their life like a catacombs. You know, whenever they close the windows, you know, their life shut just like a catacombs. What is the meaning of the catacombs? It means just like a underground graves. They are living in very small houses etc. Only the map is not useful for them. Only whenever they want to see the things outside, they can see the things through the window etc. And they are living just like a underground graves. Underground graves, you know, the small graves are there, which are, it means they are living very suffocated life. They are living in a very congested life, in a very congested area they are living. And you know that these children can do everything in the life. They can break open till they break the dawn, and show the children to green fields and make them. If the children become, if we make them aware, if they will become aware in their very life, then what will happen? That they can also bring the revolution in the society etc. And you know, this is our moral duty. This is our moral duty. This is the moral duty not for me, not for you, but this is the moral duty for all of us, that we must show these very children the growing green fields. We make their world just like a bride. We can show them not only this very world, but we can show them just like a bright blue sky, azure, and the gold sand etc. And let that concern neck in the books, he white and green leaves open history those weeks. And in this way, when we are able to show them the green fields, when we are able to show them the bright clear sky, and after that when we will take them in the green field etc. and gold sands etc. when we show them, then simply they can change, they can be a good citizen of the society. And in this way, run back into the book, the white and green leaves open history, there whose language is the only sun. You know, in this very poem we can say only those people, only those children can make the history whose language is warm, not only warm etc. but you know, who has the energy of the sun. Those very children can make the history. So in this way, at the last very stanza we can say, the last stanza there is given the conclusion that we should help these very children. We should make them good citizens. They can also make a history. And you know, after our poem is ended, but after making its end, I would like to tell that I have already explained in the first very poem some literary device was there. You know, if you remember that very literary device, then you can easily underline those very that literary device. And the literary device is that, suppose there is given some literary device in the particular line, and you know what is the literary device that is already given there. That there is a, first I would like to tell there is a simile. Simile, you know where the simile is given, that in the line like rootless wheat, like rootless wheat. Why you know that? How can you say that this is the simile? That I have already told you that in the simile is the figure of space in which two different objects are compared. You know that why is there the simile, and you know that in simile there may be the given the comparing words. So already there is given the comparing words, like you know the children faces are just like a rootless weeds, and rootless weeds unwanted plants. So you know there is the comparison, the children faces are compared to the unwanted plants. That's why we can say that there is the figure of speech simile. And second is that in the second like second line is there like bottles, like bottles, like bottles, bits, like bottles, bits on stones. On stones. Here is also figure of speech simile, because there is also comparison is there, and the word is also comparing given, that is the like. In the third there is the like catacombs. Third, like catacombs. And the fourth line there is given slums as big as rooms. Slums as big as domes. You know why the slums as big as the domes? You know there is also, because I have already told you that when the comparing words are there and the comparing word is already either. So you know we can say in this very poem, the poet has used some literary terms, that the first is the simile, and in these very lines there is the use of the figure of speech, or we can say poetic device, or we can say literary device, that is the simile. And you know, if you remember very well, before starting the first poem, I have already told you, I have already explained to you the figure of speech. And next one is that, you know, in few lines there is a metaphor is there. Metaphor. You know, metaphor is also the figure of speech in which two different objects are compared, but you know there is not a comparing words. You know that the first very is that rat's eyes. You know that the child is having the eyes. The child's eyes are not rat's eyes, but the child's are compared the eyes of the rats, because the eyes of the rats always search the food. The eyes of the rats are very curious, they always search the food. So there is the figure of speech, that we can say metaphor, and there is not any use of the figure of speech, we can say that there is not also any comparing words. Next is there paper singing boy. Paper singing boy. Here is also the boy is also compared just like a paper. Paper singing boy means the boy is as thin as the paper. Here is also comparison. But if you know very well that when I explained in the first very term that metaphor is the figure of speech in which two different objects are compared, but the words of the comparison is not there. So without using any comparing words, there is the comparison, but there is not the use of the comparing words. So we can say this is the metaphor. And next is that we can say lead sky. Lead sky. What is the meaning of the lead sky? Lead sky means that we can say the sky that is looking very dull. Achha, you know the sky is not lead. Everybody knows that sky's color is having blue. But you know why the poet has used the red sky? Because the children who are studying in the slum area, the children who are studying in that very dirty area, due to the pollution, due to the dirtiness, the sky looks as dirty as like the color of the land. So in this way, now we have got this very poem in elementary school. So you know very well. Some figure of speech or some literary device is there. That is already I have told you, beta. I hope that you have got this very poem very clearly. And you know, after ending this very poem, I would like to ask some questions to you. You know that I would like to add that why the boy is using just like a paper sealing wire. So you answer very well. What the answer may be there? That the boy is as thin as the paper. You know that why does the boy feel himself that he is unlucky? So beta, I have already explained, if you remember, I have already explained to you that the boy feels himself unlucky because he has got not any property from his father. Everybody knows that we people have got the property, our father's property is there that can be inherited to us, but you know this boy does not got any property, but instead of getting the property, he has got the two diseases. The one disease is that the ricketts, and second disease is that we can know that he has got the naughty diseases. He has got the disease of the knots. And you know that why the small boy who is sitting at the last of the bench, at the last of the class, why does he not take interest in the class? Yes, very nice. Yes, the boy does not take interest in the class because the class is not interesting, because the teacher is not making them proper arrangement. And second thing is there, first of all the boy removes his hunger. First of all, the boy wants to remove from the malnutrition, because before studying anything, before studying of anything, that we have to remove our hunger, our hopelessness, our malnutrition, then we can study. Everybody knows that healthy body has a healthy mind. If our body is not healthy, we cannot study in the properly. If we are not getting the proper nourishment, then we cannot study easily. So you know, in the next so many questions are there, that why does the poet use that why does the poet say that Shakespeare is big for these very children? So you know, if you remember that I have already explained you that Shakespeare is big for these very children, because nobody tells about Shakespeare. Shakespeare is a very famous poet as well as dramatist. He has written so many love stories, he has written so many dramas, but you know, for these very children, they are away from the education. Nobody is telling them the proper value of the education. And next is what the question is there. The question is that why the maps are the bad example for these children. The maps, if you remember very well, that the maps are the bad example for them, because they do not know the importance of the map, because the map tells about the division of the world, the map tells about the rivers, about the natural things, about the ships, about the so many other things are there, but you know that nobody is going to tell them the importance of these very things. Their life is away, their life is just like we can say surrounded onto the particular area. They are living only the limited area, they are living just like in the dirty area, that is only their life. So at the last we can say, why should the governors, the educationists as well as the visitors should help them? So you know, if you remember at the last of the stanza there is given, we should help all the governors, educationists, visitors, and the society help them to remove their to remove their hungerness, to remove their hopelessness, and in this way, when we help them, then they can be removed from their problem, they can be free from the malnutrition, and in this way, they can get a properly education, and with the help of that education, they will be a good citizen. When they will be a good citizen, then they can make the world, they can make the history, and at the last of that, I would like to ask that which children make the history. So that the last stanza, the last is there. The children who are very energetic, the children who are very hardworking, the children who are having the warm feeling, and the children who are just like having the energy of the sun, they can make the language best, they can make the history. Thank you students. I am just going to complete this very lesson, and next we will study. Thank you. Bye. Meet you next.